I change things, still I fear the answer's no. In this fucked up world in which I feel I stand alone. All this hate that I feel for you, my one true enemy, once was blind, but now I see. It makes me question, why do we choose to live this way? I try to free my mind from what's not meant to be. It makes me question why.
So I'll be completely honest, right up front, not even gonna lie about it. If a person hadn't come along and requested this game, I probably wouldn't have ever played it. Never been my thing, the Witcher series. I don't know, I just never bothered to play them. Although from speaking to people, my understanding is the first one has aged about as well as milk does when left outside in the sun. And the second one is fine. Very, very fine. I don't know. Again, I've never played them at all. I have never even bothered with them because the heck with it. Because I don't know. I like RPGs, but I'm not really someone who goes around playing them all the time. It's hard to explain to me in RPGs. I think it's because, especially now, they're so friggin' time consuming. I mean, a well-made RPG is hours of time investment compared to a lot of action games now where you can beat the main campaign in 5 or 6 hours tops. RPGs, you're talking 20, 30, 40, 50 hours of time. I mean, and nobody got that kind of time. Or I don't have that kind of time. Because I don't. Let me tell you. But I did put enough time into this game to tell you all about it. Because, you know, someone wanted me to talk about it. They didn't buy it for me, I had to do that myself. But it's okay. So The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is a game that actually, I'll admit, while I probably wouldn't have played it otherwise, like I said, I was thinking that it looked pretty good with early trailers. I mean, it looked like a really cool game. You know, it was one of the first games announced with the next generation hit. You know, the trailer was really cool and showed off some pretty interesting things. I mean, there was a lot to like about it, even if it wasn't my thing. And upon sitting down to play it, I gotta admit, I was pleasantly surprised. It probably helped, I'll admit, that I went in with kind of a negative attitude because, again, I had a pretty negative understanding of the previous two games. I only talked to a few people who just didn't like them very much. And by that I mean one person. So, maybe I should have branched out a bit more and gotten more opinions. Anyway, but the third game is great. Actually, I'm gonna say it right now. This is a really solid game. It's actually gonna be hard for me to tell you what's wrong with it because overall, it's one of the most well-made Western-style RPGs I've played, which is surprising because I've actually adapted to the idea that a lot of RPGs get really glitchy. Especially Western ones. Dragon Age, one of my favorite games of all time, Dragon Age Origins. That game is glitchy as fuck sometimes, depending on what platform you're playing on. Fucking Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, oh, don't even get me started on fucking Skyrim, okay? That's another one that someone wants me to talk about. I'll talk about it right now. Fucking listen, I don't even want to talk about Skyrim. I mean, honest. It's one of the games that was donated to me. Like, someone actually bought it on Steam, like, 2 years ago and asked me to review it, and I actually started recording for it, and you know what? I'm gonna just throw it in here right now. I cannot talk about Skyrim. It is not gonna happen. Bro, if you're watching this, I will happily give you your $30 back, or whatever you spent on it back then, I don't even remember anymore. You know, if that's gonna make us cool, but doing a review of Skyrim is fucking impossible for me, because I hate fucking Skyrim. It is not the kind of game that I can sit down and play. Skyrim, I mean. It's just, it's too open, and it's too buggy at the same time. Like, people are like, oh, it's so immersive, you can explore it. I don't want to fucking do that. I need some fucking direction. And Elder Scrolls has, like, none of it. Same thing with Fallout. I hate Fallout for the exact same reason. I do not like games with that openness. I need some structure, some sort of path. It's not that much path. That's too much of a path, okay? I'm not talking about that. That's exactly the exact opposite problem. But you know what I mean, okay? So It's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. I acknowledge what people like about it, but in order for me to do a full review of it, I just don't think it would be fair. Because I'm an odd one out when it comes to Skyrim. I know this. And I was almost an odd one out when it comes to The Witcher, but as open as The Witcher is, I just felt like there was more direction. I think it helps that there were a lot of quests all scattered around, and, direction was given to you. It was clear what your primary quest always was. It was never really out of the way, and each quest branched off right into another one. Side quests were on the same path. I mean, it felt structured better. I didn't feel like I was wandering all the friggin' time. And the fast travel system really helped limit any potential wandering you might be doing. The environments, by the way, are fucking gorgeous in this game, and I'm gonna say that right now. This game is beautiful, overwhelmingly so. I can't even overstate that. This is a true next-gen experience from a graphical perspective, and the sound design is extraordinary. And I usually don't say that. I'll say, the music, yeah, it's good, but no, like, the tracks in this game, not only do they fit the style, but they're fucking beautiful. Like, you could just release a soundtrack, shit, I'd buy the crap out of that. It's amazing, from a direction standpoint. Both the graphics and the style and the feel of the game, everything flows together so well. It was clear that this team came together and knew exactly what kind of game they were trying to make. They already had 2 other games in the series that realized that, but here I think they really perfected the formula. The story is actually really interesting and quite compelling, even during side quests. That's one of the things I really love about this game, is that everything is well written. It isn't just the main story that's well written. There's some side quests you never care about. No. I actually am getting more invested in some of the side quests than anything else, because everything is given a purpose in this goddamn game. Everything you do feels important. Every time you're trying to help someone, they feel like a real person, and you get emotionally invested sometimes. I'll just tell you the story. How this game kind of threw me for a goddamn friggin' loop. Because your choices really do matter in The Witcher 3. And I actually think in some ways it handles it a bit better than even BioWare does when it comes to the choice thing. Because I thought BioWare was like, they were like the lords of choice games. Like, they had Dragon Age and Mass Effect, both games that clearly change based on the decisions you make. And they were both very good at them. The Witcher 3, though, in some ways, I think it excels in that department, even when compared to them, because every little thing you do can change fucking everything. I don't think you understand what one decision can change in this game until you've played it more than once. Even during side quests, they can end so differently. They can end in a variety of completely different ways that you would never possibly expect until you actually made the choices. The story I was about to tell you, how about those side quests where I was doing some quests for my favorite character in the game, actually. I liked her a lot, and little spoiler on this, my choices wound up me being forced to violently murder her. I was not okay with this. That really affected me, okay? And it must be a good story if I'm getting emotionally invested, because I don't get emotionally invested in crap, quite frankly. Also, fair word of warning on this, and this is kind of a spoiler, I'll admit, but I'm going to tell you because y'all need to know. If you're playing the game, when you get to the part with the friggin' druid, it's one of the main story quests, you're going to have to do it. He's the guy, the spirit, who wants you to put him into the body of a black horse so he can, you remember that? You'll know it when you get to it. Do not let him out. Everyone will die. That was horrible. I have never regretted a game decision more in my life than that particular time, because oh my fucking god. I mean, he did what he said he was gonna do. He said he was gonna save the children. Yay, save the children. Kill everyone else. Do not let him out. Anyway, back on topic, the combat is actually pretty intuitive. I know there are action RPGs where the combat's more intuitive, like Kingdom Hearts, but it's more technical than that. It's almost could be its own little action game in that regard, because it's all about blocking and parrying, and reacting to things in situations. It's not just tactics. It's not just, choosing different spells for, situations and, choosing a counter to a certain enemy type. No, it's really just about movements and placement, and it feels a bit more like an action game whenever you get down to the combat. I'm not quite sure I personally like the combat. And in fact, in some ways, I don't like it at all. It feels... It's challenging, but I almost feel like... This is gonna sound really freaking weird. I feel like it's almost too realistic. I like that, you know, from a design standpoint. That's a really great thing to do if you want to get someone immersed in a world. But, I don't know. I just prefer a little bit more... cartoony style to my combat, if that makes any sense. My point is that the combat, while great, isn't for everyone, I think is what I'm trying to say. Leveling up your character is actually pretty interesting, but I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that I feel like there are too many options and not enough points. You're given a skill point every time you level up, which is great, but level ups can take a while, and one skill point when you have all this? I mean, you have 5 pages with like, there are 20 different options, all with the ability to put 3 points in each option. I mean, that adds up pretty quick. I honestly don't know what the level cap is in this game, but I genuinely don't believe you can max out everything. That seems impossible. The game was designed for longevity, which is fine, but if you're not willing to go the extra mile and be in it for the long haul, you're gonna run out of steam really fast and just get fed up. Because that is one of the problems I have with the game overall, is that there's kind of a grind here, but it's hidden. Here's my thing. Okay, I just got done, and by just got done I mean last year. It feels like just yesterday to me, leave me alone. Playing Dragon Age Inquisition. Because again, loved the Dragon Age series. Except 2. Fuck that game. But Inquisition was pretty good. It had one fucking problem that drove me nuts, and that it was the forced side questing. Oh my fucking god, did I hate the crap out of the forced side questing in that fucking game. The Witcher 3 doesn't officially have any forced side questing. You can always go on and do the main story if you wish. And by that I mean you totally can't do that, you're gonna get fucking destroyed. Because there's no way to be at the required level without doing side quests. You won't be strong enough. You'll just die. So you have to do side quests in order to get to a high enough level to progress. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like Inquisition where the game is literally hard-pressed saying, you're doing side quests, you're not going on until they're done, fucker. The Witcher 3 is leaving the door open, but is basically pointing their finger and being like, there's like a giant monster in there that's gonna eat the living shit out of you if you don't have a better sword. So I guess they're being more polite about it, and not like putting a do not enter sign on the door and then locking it and throwing furniture in front of it and basically making it impossible to progress. But they might as well, because you can't go on. You'll just get destroyed. And I don't like that. I don't like being forced to do side quests. I'm not much of a side quester. That's not how I play my games. I like the main story. If I like a game enough, I'll go back and do side quests, but I don't like doing them during the main story. I like to keep going. As good as the side quests are in The Witcher 3, I like to skip some of them. But I don't feel like I can, because if I do, well, I won't be going anywhere. And that bothers me a little bit. Not necessarily a flaw for some, but maybe for few. There is one other thing I want to address about The Witcher, and that's the controversy around it. And I just have to talk about this because it's dumb. Really, 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 really dumb. And I need you to know that. There's a whole issue about sexism in the game and saying that, oh, women are just there, you know, to get the male lead later. Okay, first of all, that's bullshit. Okay, that's complete bullshit. Sex does not happen that freaking often in this game. You might be saying, well, didn't they record like 16 hours of, you know, sex motion capture? And yes, but when you consider the fact the game is like 60 plus hours, it's not really that much, okay? Like, that's the first thing. But the second thing is that the sex is always an option for the most part in this game. You don't have to go out and get laid all the time, and you can, but the option isn't that often, and you don't have to do it. It's a role-playing game. If you want to be a man whore, that's your fucking business. But me, for example, I did not feel the need to cheat on Yennefer. Because Yennefer's fucking awesome. You see this chick? Oh my god, look at her. Listen, Yen. I just need you to know that if you ever get fed up with his shit, I will show you such a good time, girl. You can come right on over. Oh my god! You know, I just feel like we've been here before. Many times, in fact. At least 3. Fucking how many times are you gonna... Ow! I just don't think you understand. What part of Sorceress did you... Like, that is exactly why I'm even here. And there you go again. Not caring. What the bloody hell is your problem? Why did you do that? Listen, I am breaking character a bit and trying to do you a favor. Not that you care. You never really cared what I thought anyway. You're an asshole. Try looking in a mirror. Oh, of course. You'd only see yourself. And then you'd only be looking at me. Cheers. Back to what I was saying. I don't feel like women are treated any less than men in this game. I think the only hindrance The Witcher has is that you don't have the option to play as a female character because it's been following the male lead for the entire run of the series. So of course you can't play as a girl. Though you can play as Ciri, who is one of the strongest, most independent, awesome female characters I've ever seen in a fucking game. I enjoy the fact that everyone bitching about The Witcher 3 when it comes to this whole sexism feels the need to just gloss over Ciri and not even mention the part that might prove their argument is a little flimsy and bigoted and obnoxious, and really I just feel like people need to stop finding reasons to bitch about shit. It's annoying. The game is so well made, and so good, and so in-depth, and so immersive, and has such a wide variety of well-developed, interesting characters on both sides of the gender roles equation that I don't see why y'all gotta throw a fucking hissy fit. Okay? I don't get that. I get that the option is there to sleep with fucking everybody, but you don't have to do it. So, why can't there be that kind of option in a role-playing game? I mean, in fucking Mass Effect, you could play as either a male or a female. You could sleep with people. That happened. Same thing could be said for Dragon Age. Is it because you can only play as a guy in The Witcher 3? Would it help if you could play as a girl? Maybe? Anyway, back to what I was saying. Right, the game is really, really good. I was pleasantly surprised with this experience. I haven't beaten the whole thing yet, but I probably will. Because I actually genuinely enjoy the game. Which says a lot for me, because like I said, this sort of thing usually isn't the kind of game I like to play. But if you're into RPGs, Western style ones that have plenty of choice, and you're looking for something new, try The Witcher 3. It's worth your time. Till next time, this is Darkness, and I bid you all a fond farewell.